Hello and welcome to Combat Mission Shock Force 2. My name is Greyfox and I have recently taken part in the first round of the Field Warrior Tournament 2020 hosted by the Few Good Men Forum. The format of the tournament is that each side is presented with a pre-selected force and a set of objectives. In this scenario I've been given a USMC force, very small, only about 40 dudes. And I have to keep as many of them alive as possible, and that's it. The only thing I know about my opponent, MOS, is that he has a contingent of the Syrian army, which is a mechanized reconnaissance company. That's all I know. So let's show you the force I have. I have one 3-man sniper team which has a 50 caliber rifle. I have a second 3-man sniper team, this time with a Mark 11 rifle. I also have three 3-man scout teams, a 3-man breach team with a few demolition charges, a 4-man grenade launcher team who have a Mark 19 grenade launcher, a Humvee armed with a Mark 19 grenade launcher, and a Humvee armed with a 50 caliber machine gun. The heaviest anti-tank weapons I have would consist of the 2 Mark 19 weapon systems and the 50 caliber machine gun, and potentially maybe the 50 caliber rifle that one of the sniper teams has. Most of the infantry teams also have LAWs, light anti-tank weapons. Some of them also have M203 grenade launchers, which can fire the high explosive dual purpose grenades, which could potentially knock out some light armor or light vehicles. But in total, I have a very small force to handle what could be a full company of Syrians. The length of the scenario, the length of the match, is 10 minutes. That's 10 turns. Now, I only have a very limited objective, and that's to keep as many of my troops alive as possible. One of the few real advantages I have is that there's this great big ditch or river or whatever you want to call it, bisecting the map, and the Syrians have to cross it, and there's only one crossing point, that little bridge. So I know where they have to come from, but I just don't know what they're going to bring with them. I'm up against a human player. That means that what could work against an AI may be kind of obvious for a human. There are some big buildings. This 4-story hotel, for instance, which has an ideal rooftop position overlooking the bridge. However, a Syrian player would see this hotel and understand that it gives a good field of view into their deployment zone. And so I would fully expect my opponent to try to kill anything that's potentially up in that building. As such, rather than deploying my sniper team on the roof or the balconies that could overlook that bridge, I've instead placed them on the second floor, I guess the third floor in America. And I've also placed them on a short target arc. Well, kind of short. They'll only shoot out as far as my side of the bridge. Instead, it'll be my Mark 19 team in this building here, who will have full visibility on the bridge, and hopefully they'll be able to attack and kill any armored vehicles there. I've placed them on a target armor arc, so they'll ignore any infantry they see running around or any soft-skinned vehicles. Hopefully they'll only target any armored vehicles should the Syrians have them. One wrinkle is this 3-man scout team, though you can't see it right now, is actually outside of the deployment zone. As such, I've ordered them to run further back into the town covered by my breach team, who will hopefully be able to provide some overwatch and make sure nothing comes up behind them to kill them as they run away. This scout team is guarding a compound, I believe it's a university, to hopefully catch any force that attempts to flank around and get in behind my troops. My 50 caliber sniper team has a line of sight straight down onto the bridge. Hopefully they'll be able to spot and or shoot anything that chooses to come across it. My Mark 19 Humvee has what should hopefully be a keyhole line of sight onto this junction here. And with that, I think we can begin and watch how the match played out. Almost immediately, my Mark 19 team spots a BMP coming up to the bridge, as well as a UAZ Jeep with a scout team or two on board. The second BMP joins the first and immediately comes under fire from the Mark 19 grenade launch team, which proceeds to heavily damage it until the crew is forced to bail out. As you can see, when all the hatches open up, we can't see the crew yet, so they're not visible, but you can see the hatches open. BRDM type vehicle decides to join the UAZ, probably to provide fire support to the scout team, the UAZ. My Mark 19 team continues to fire onto the BMP.
Good kill. He's burning me. Approaching.
Until it's a flame, rather than shifting fire. Almost immediately after taking out the BMP, my Mark 19 team starts coming under fire from the SPG technical that the Syrians have with them. While not especially accurate, it's only a matter of time before they get accurate hits in. I'd expected this and so ordered my Mark 19 team to pull out. As they relocate to a new building, they happen to come under some fire from the BMP and take a couple of injuries. Two Syrian BMPs cross the bridge, one going right and the other left, while the scouts dropped off by the UAZ start infiltrating into the town and get into a small firefight with my Marines, in which my troops come off somewhat the worse. I lose one of my scout members. Turns out that Syrian AKs can fire off a lot of rounds in a very short amount of time. My scout team decides that discretion is the better part of valor and starts to escape their building. However, they sadly get gunned down, leaving only one survivor in the team. Just beyond them, the Mark 19 Humvee comes under fire from the same group of Syrians, and the gunner and his replacement are both killed. My scout team in the university got into a fierce firefight with the Syrians. The BMP, which had gone left, apparently brings a demolitions team or an engineer team as they blast a hole in the wall of the university and start crossing troops into it. By the start of the fourth turn, the situation is as such. The Syrians have a force of infantry occupying the central part of the front row of buildings. As such, the teams were concentrated and were able to win local firefights. I decide that my best option is to have my troops fall back, and not a moment too soon, as some of them come under quite heavy fire, as their previous positions are shelled. I have my Mark 19 Humvee fall back into a more defensible location. My cyber team gets a spot on some Syrians and opens fire, getting at least one kill. Having gotten their successful hits in, the sniper team falls back into the building, and not a moment too soon. My scout team in the university have fallen deeper into the building, hopefully in what should have been a protected location. However, unfortunately, a BMP shows up outside and starts blasting the wall down. My scout team in the building put up a last stand, one of them with a 9mm. However, they are quickly finished off. Under the cover of the smoke provided by the Syrians, I have my 50 caliber sniper team move into a more consolidated position with their compatriots. By the end of the 7th turn, my troops are now in an L-shaped position with the 50 caliber Humvee at the 90-degree angle. So hopefully this is a more consolidated defensive position. The sole exception to this is the driver from the Mark 19 Humvee. I've had him abandon the vehicle and move into this small one-story building, which has line of sight towards the entrance of the alleyway he came from. The repositioning of the 50 caliber Humvee pays dividends as a BMP crosses out in front of it and immediately comes under fire, which causing some pretty significant damage. Rounds are not only hitting it, they're penetrating it the whole way through. Apparently damaging it enough that it is no longer capable of moving or even of returning fire. My Mark 19 team finds some Syrians, proceeds to fire its remaining rounds into the building they are in. Having gotten its hits in, I have the 50 caliber Humvee fall back to a new position. The Syrians know where it is. It's only a matter of time before fire starts coming down top of it, which happens quite quickly as two BMPs move up to the intersection. One of them rushing out to stop in front of a building containing the lone survivor from the scout team, as well as the breach team, both of which fire Mark M203 grenades into the BMP. These don't initially appear to damage it, as it is still moving and firing. However, another M203 hits. The building comes under fire from the overwatching BMP, sadly killing the survivor from the scout team. The breach team are evacuating the building and open fire on the crew bailing out from BMP, while the 50 caliber team opened fire on the Overwatch BMP and force it to fall back, as the 50 caliber rounds can punch straight through the BMP's light armor. Having nearly exhausted their ammunition, the Mark 19 team fall back as the building comes under fire. The breach team abandoned their building, having killed the crewman who bailed out. However, more Syrians pile out of the vehicle. The breach team escaped the building and kill the first Syrian through the door. However, they themselves come under fire immediately from surviving members of the team, losing a man. The survivors panic and run straight into the fire of another BMP or unit. The building the sniper team had fallen back to comes under immediate fire, and a BMP shows up right outside of it. The BMP opens fire into the general vicinity of the 50 cal Humvee. However, the Humvee does not seem capable of spotting the BMP and is successfully knocked out by the BMP. My platoon commander is then unceremoniously put down. The driver from the Mark 19 Humvee has a couple of Syrians come up on top of him. However, a few 3-round bursts, both Syrians are dealt with. And with that, the match is over. The Syrians have 7 men killed, 13 wounded, and 1 BMP completely destroyed. The Marines have 7 men killed and 6 wounded, with 1 Humvee, 50 cal Humvee, knocked out completely. In all, I think I made a few mistakes during this fight. For one, initially my troops were all spread out, allowing the Syrians to gain local fire superiority when they got in close. I did well initially when my Mark 19 team killed the BMP. However, that sadly proved to be the only BMP that my troops actually destroyed. This BMP is immobilized. Its engine and IR optics are knocked out, but its weapon systems are fully active. The BMP my breach team successfully engaged was forced to dismount. I don't actually know how much damage it caused it, but it is not knocked out nor immobilized. And I am incredibly angry at my platoon commander's 50 caliber Humvee, who had a clear shot on that BMP and refused to take it. My opponent had approximately 2 to 3 times the amount of troops and firepower my team had. But my sole objective was simply to survive. He actually had to kill them. And sadly, when I lost a couple of teams I shouldn't have, because they were spread out a little bit too much. They didn't have enough overwatch, and I think that's what caused me to lose the match. Anyways, that should be it. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again.